Okay guys, today is the Saturday the 4th of June and just a wrap up video as usual, but I also want to cover a couple of trades that I put in on Thursday and Friday that I thought I'd just share with you anyway. So the first one was Euro AUD, and I'm going to have to flip to a video that I put together on Thursday or Friday just to kind of, if you haven't seen the previous one, then at least you can see now what the thinking was behind it. So you should be able to see that soon. Basically, for targets to be, and this is on the daily chart, okay? So I've taken it on the 1 hour time frame. So it is a kind of, this is very kind of bullish when you look at it from the daily, but if you scroll down to say the 4 hour, you know, the market's kind of, well, the market had a bit of a drop, fell below structure, and then came back up. Now it's retesting that previous level. So we're basically, it's a simple structure trade, entered short. Looking at targets at about, how many pips are we looking at here? Looking at about 160 odd pips, which is not much in terms of the Euro Aussie anyway. Initial stop loss should be up to about 120 pip stop loss, but you know, I can probably get away with having it down there anyway, so I'll actually just leave it there. So looking at risking $74 to gain 164. So that's that there. I do expect it to see continuation. This is really just a short-term swing trade, possibly day trade. Looking for it to reverse at around these levels here if it does find any support. But if you look at the daily, the daily chart. Yeah, this is pretty bullish, right? So this is more of a day trade, I guess. So just depends. And there's also the ECB interest rate decision tonight, right? Which is in about a couple of hours. So that's going to definitely play a big part in the move, right? So if we hit that target before the ECB move, that'd be perfect. If not, then you know, you got to ask yourself, so what could the decision be, right? So there is some discussion that they might be cutting. If that's the case, then you'll probably see a weaker euro, which could justify the next move down from a fundamentals perspective. But if they're looking at you know, increasing rates, or even probably if they mention it, it might be enough to push this up further. But again, like this is a typical structure trade. You know, even on the daily you can see it. So you can see it on the daily here. You know, if I draw a trend line there, right? And I love using trend lines just to see what levels are being tested. You know, you can draw a line there. You can see the market's coming in. So we'll likely get a test there and then some kind of a retracement. Okay. Okay, so you can see what happened was, you know, I don't have the trade's closed obviously now, but we entered around about that level there. Risk was up there, and then I took some profit down at the 129 pip area. So and then the rest of the position was left to trail, and we finally closed out the position at 161 pips. So pretty decent. And then we actually, I didn't get a chance to get back in, but if you were looking at this, you know that there was a potential for a continuation or a reversal back up. So I missed that entry now, so I'm going to look for another opportunity to get in. But if I go to close positions, I'll show you what happened. Where is it? Euro AUD. So we closed 7 lots to begin with $90 profit, and the remaining position was closed at with $48 profit. So $138 profit all up. So that was that there. Also another trade, I didn't really talk about this one the other day, but because I was waiting for the order to get filled, but the USD CAD was a really big mover. So what we had was I had a limit order, a buy stop order at about $1.3831. And the market was about up here, so I was waiting for this market to move down, and once it moved down and hit my order, I got into the trade, and then market, you know, had a pretty sizable drop all the way down here, and that was mainly due to the Non Farm Payrolls data. So the payroll data that came out of the US was pretty bad from what I saw, and that's what's caused the big spike down. So this one was, we had about 165 pips, and this was all within, you know, this is on the 1 hour chart, so this was within an hour. But if you look at it here, you can see USD CAD, the first position here. So I basically had 3 lots I closed. So the first one was about $30 profit, the second one was about $62 profit, and then $20 profit. So not too bad, pretty decent. But that's that there. So they're the 2 currency trades that I took. So you know, should see that video if you haven't seen that video already. But yeah, now on to other important stuff. So we're looking at what's going on. So I'll talk a bit about the currencies. I'll talk about the stock market later, maybe if we've got some time. But you know, you can see that yesterday we had the currencies all had big moves. You know, it always happens during non-farm payrolls. You know, you get the really big moves. So and all dollar went down obviously, and all the other currencies that were against the against the USD were rallying. So you can see here that this pattern that we've been watching for some time, we're looking for a siphon pattern for an entry. It unfortunately didn't get down to that level. We've got the big reversal back up, but still doesn't mean this isn't in play. There's also a shorting opportunity up ahead, so something to keep an eye on. Might be an opportunity to get short if we do test, you know, around this zone here. Okay, be a pretty good shorting opportunity, but then again, this is a continuation pattern, so just keep an eye on that. All right. Now I had to put a note down on what I was going to show you. So you saw the Euro Aussie trade already. AUD USD, same thing. We've got a pretty decent move, reverse. This was expected, right? We just didn't know. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get in. I wasn't watching this at the time. So, but again, like I said, we're looking for this reversal, which we got. Now, what I expect to see is some continuation, and then maybe we can try and test. You know, these levels around here, around the 76s, 77s, 75s maybe. But from there, I expect to see more reversal. So just keep an eye on that. But there is a good shorting opportunity up ahead. Something to keep an eye on there. AUDJPY. Now, you've got to go down to a lower time frame with this. But if you've been watching AUD Yen, there was a bat pattern that completed. Up around here, and if you're taking the trade, it would have been a tough trade to hold, right? I've got to admit, it would have been tough to hold this trade, but if you did, then you would have hit targets 1, 2, maybe 3, and maybe you're looking at extended targets, right? So, but this is a very tough trade to hold because your stops would have had to be about up and around these levels here, right? So you can see the market's kind of like, you know, putting this flag formation, broke down, right? A fake break, and then reversed and went back up. If you had your stops, tight stops, you would have been stopped out, and then if you were stopped out, you would have seen a reversal straight after, and this would have been painful to watch. So I wasn't involved in that trade, so that was a good thing. All right, so GBP USD, something to keep an eye on, like I've been saying, the Brexit vote coming up next. Now, this bat pattern I've drawn in, it's been there for quite a while. This has a chance of getting reaching. I've drawn in this pattern too. You've got a bearish Gartley here. The reason why I put this in is because this is where you can use predictive analysis to kind of predict what the market might do. Okay, so if we get a move down here, right, and then you get the completion of the bat pattern and then signaling a buy entry. If the market moves up, and this could take weeks, months to play out, right? But if it plays up, you might see some moves like this. But this kind of gives you an indication that, you know, there's a possibility we might go and retest these areas, right? So it's just something to keep an eye on. And you've got to combine it with other techniques as part of your predictive analysis. But I thought it'd be interesting to put in there. I'll probably do another video at some stage and talk about this in more detail. But, you know, there's an opportunity. There's probably multiple opportunities on the pound GDP, but, you know, there's always a trading opportunity here, okay? Now, New Zealand USD, I'm kicking myself because I missed a trading opportunity. I was waiting for the market to kind of head down to this level here before, like the Euro USD, before I look for a buy entry for a continuation to the upside. Didn't get it, of course, but it's given me another trading opportunity, which is what I call the 2618. right? Which is another way to trade the double top, but a safer way of trading it. So, and you can see here, I've got the rectangle here marked as my kill zone. So as the market headed down, I was looking for this reversal to come back up. Now, if the market were to trade within this zone here, then I would be looking for a shorting opportunity, okay? And we're there, so this is perfect now for me. So I might look at this in more detail and then see if there's a trading opportunity there. But if we do manage to get an entry, you're looking at pretty good risk reward, all right? Your risk reward, if I get rid of this, right, is you're looking at, let's say you entered here, right? Your initial risk is about this much, roughly, give or take. Your first targets would be about there. So your risk reward is already 1 to 2, 1 to 2.5. You're looking at targets down at. I'd be looking for very extended targets, right? Because this is a classic bearish wedge kind of pattern. This is a continuation pattern. If you look at it from a bigger picture perspective, you can see here. You can see that we've had this move down here. You had the flag pattern and then the continuation to the downside. Now you've got the same thing happening here. So this, most of the time, this is a continuation pattern. So this is a perfect level to get involved to New Zealand USD. So that's one there. You've already seen a USD CAD, Euro AUD. I think that's it. I'm going to show you from the currency perspective. But again, there's plenty of opportunities elsewhere, but I haven't really looked at it yet. So now, SPX, S&P 500. So this is interesting. This is something to keep an eye on, and I think we're going to see a move sometime soon, within the next day or two. Now, what you can see here, if you look at it from the daily chart, you can see this line here I've drawn here. I've had this line here for a while, but it's kind of acting like really strong support, right? This 208 area, right? Now, does this mean that there's a lot of support? We're going to see some upside, potentially, possibly, right? If we break below that level, then we're in trouble, okay? Now, you're going to be really careful with this, right? Because this is what we've seen before. If you look back, just say up until December last year, okay? As recent as that. You can see the market's kind of put in a similar move where you had a lot of support here, these big wicks here, right? So this usually means that the market, at some stage went down, got sold down, and then buyers came in and pushed this all the way back up, right? We had it and then it came down and showed some strong support before it broke down again. But then there was more buying pressure, right? So this indicates very bullish momentum in some ways. But then what happens next? It rolls over, right? And we're seeing the same thing happening here. So you're going to be really careful not to fall for this trap, all right? What we could see on Monday or Tuesday is a complete breakdown and a rollover of this. Okay, so something to keep an eye on. Don't get too excited if you've got involved, because look at the overall picture, right? You can see that this is very tough resistance. Also, look, if you go down to the 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, I'm sure you'll find a lot of trading opportunities to make money, right? But on the bigger picture, the daily, you're looking at a pretty volatile. Even this bit here, which is what I just showed you then. Even here too, you see these big wicks here, right? Indicating a lot of potential support, but then it rolls over. So you'll be really careful. What else is there? The other thing I noticed was the VIX. VIX was rather weak, right? But it managed to find some support. So we kind of got this indecision candle here on the VIX. So we should see this start to rise, right? But it's still a bit too early to tell, right? I think the other markets are pretty much the same. So what I'll do is I'll leave it at that. And if you have any questions, let me know. But I didn't want to make it too long, and I think I've done a good job at that today. All right, cheers, guys. Take it easy.